Hey fancy fans, welcome back. It's Dan here with Treebeard Book Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about things that hurt you as a reader. So these are some things I'm going to discuss that, that you might be doing that can hurt your reading. So let's start breaking these down. Welcome back, guys. So nobody likes to be told you're reading wrong, and this is a list. This isn't going to be a video that's going to be telling you you're reading wrong. These are going to be just tips and tricks that talk about things that can hurt your reading, and these are things that I have experienced that I am notorious for as well. And so let's start breaking these down, guys. So the first one is stop comparing yourself to others, right? That's the biggest one. Don't compare yourself to others. People read at different speeds, and people read different books at different lengths. Someone could read 300 books a year and you could read 10 a year. Who cares? Don't let other people's reading habits or reading goals affect your ability to read. There's a study in the States where I think the average, there's the mean and the median. So the mean score was about 12 books a year, but the median, the real score, is about 4 books a year. So if you're reading around 4 books a year, guys, you're already above average. But the biggest thing is, don't compare yourself to others. I'm at an age now, or a stage in my life, where I don't really care what other people think, and I don't go worrying about what other people think about me. So, and that's kind of the approach you need to take. I'm going to read for me. I don't need to compare myself to others, because it's one of those things. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. You don't know what other people are going through. They might have they just have a different lifestyle to you, and don't get caught up in the page number and the page count and the books read. Read for you, read for your own enjoyment, and just enjoy the books you were reading. So I think it's not a competition. It's not a race. No one's gonna pat you on the back if you read 300 books, and they're gonna pat you on the back. Same if you said, I read 5. Good for you, man. That's great. That's fantastic. So that is the biggest thing. Learn to be happy with what you can do and the thing is, people have different amounts of time, and I have different amounts of time to read than other people. So, and that's probably one of the issues with booktubers. You see a lot of these booktubers, I read 18 books this month. It's cool. I can't do that, man. And you just don't get caught up in comparing yourself to what a booktuber does, because some of these booktubers, they do this for their job. Their whole job is to sit down and read books all day. I'm not a full-time booktuber. This is just something I do for fun. So just keep that, put that in perspective too, guys. So number 1, stop comparing yourself to others. All right, number 2, and this is the one I am the worst for, and I'm the guiltiest for, and that is this. This stupid device here is what really affects my reading a lot. Partly because, I'm on, my YouTube channel is growing. I'm checking the YouTube app. I'm checking Twitter, checking Discord. And you can burn through time on your phone so fast when you could be reading. I'll burn 30 minutes on my phone, not even thinking about it. And I'm I could have read 40 pages, or maybe not that many, maybe 25 pages in that time. And it's just if you want to be reading, don't let your phone be your distraction. And I know some people like to read on their phone because they have the Kindle app and stuff like that. That's fine. You can read on your phone. I find the phone is a distraction. I find it really hurts me when I'm trying to read and have my reading goals. And it's my own fault. I know it, and I'm bad for it. And I think that's just, recognizing yourself. Sometimes I'll catch myself scrolling mindlessly on my phone. I'm okay, I've been scrolling mindlessly. I should be reading, and I'm going to go read now. So that's just catching yourself. But one thing I have been doing, and maybe it's a little tip, is putting your phone in do not disturb or airplane mode, and putting it away from you so you can't reach it, so you can focus on your reading. And that's just a little tip and trick. That's the thing with these phones. You could call in an airstrike from your phone. There's so much power technology in your hands, but you don't need them to read necessarily. So yeah, number 2, put the phone down. I gotta keep telling myself that one. All right, so number 3 is one that I got to get better at, and is something that most readers can have an issue with, and that is learning when to DNF a book. It's one of those, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. You put a little bit of time in, you realize it's not for you, and you got to just pull the trigger and say, sorry book, you're done, you're not for me, move on to the next, because life is too short to read bad books, right? And this is something I'm slowly getting better at as a reader. I've been reading for years, but I'm a completionist. I like to, you know, even suffer through to the end of a book. But I found now I've gotten better at DNFing books, and I think that's a really healthy thing because you start to, you know, as a reader and you become more well-read, you develop your own personal taste and you understand what books make you tick, what books like really don't like fly with you. And that's just really your growth as a reader, as a person. So being able to just push a pin and say, nah, book's not for me, that's, you know, showing your maturity as a reader and as an adult. So that's it, guys. Learning when to DNF a book. The last 2 points here, they're going to be a little bit more personal, and they're more of, you know, the first one is learning what type of reader you are. So are you a mood reader? Are you one of those readers like, I have to read a cozy, comfy book in like, you know, the winter months, or I need to read a light and airy book, or, you know, you're just in the mood for a fantasy adventure, or you're in the mood for a sci-fi romp, or you're in the mood for a rom-com kind of thing. You need to understand the type of reader you are, like, or you're a goal-setting reader where you're like, okay, I'm going to read this, this, and this, and this on this schedule. So it's really understanding your reading habits and planning accordingly. So, you know, if you are a mood reader, don't lock yourself into like these, like, you know, reading 5 series at a time where your mood will shift and you want to read something that's like, you know, like on your mind. So I think with mood readers, you know, you really need to have a loose TBR, whereas with people who like to schedule and plan out their reads and, you know, have like a certain plan, because some readers are like that, like, okay, I'm going to start the series and I'm going to read it all the way through. Others are not. They don't like having that structure about them. And it's also understanding the type of books you like to read. If you like really character heavy driven books, those are the type of books you want to focus on. If you're more of a plot focused reader, maybe these are the type of books you want to focus on. So it's just, you know, learning about yourself as a reader and picking books that make you want to read them. So that's how you kind of, you know, chunk through your books. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is if reading is your goal, or, you know, reading is one of your goals or one of your hobbies, make it a priority, or make it one of those hobbies that is a priority, because when you have competing priorities, it's hard to fit reading in there. You know, I'm a good example of this too. Doing my master's, you know, I have my wife and kids who I want to hang out with and play, you know, play games with, have fun with, watch movies, watch shows. You know, I have a weekly or bi-weekly D&D group. I have my other friends who want to play video games with me one night a week. All those commitments eat into reading time. And, you know, I'm an adult, like I have young kids, so I get home, I'm done work at 4, they're in bed by 8 o'clock, and by like 9 o'clock, game over for me. I'm tired. So if you want to, you know, make reading a priority, make it a priority. Have a consistent schedule. If you know, oh, I'm going to read between 9 and 10 at night before I go to bed, that's when I read this, and that's when you put the phone on airplane mode and you stick to your reading schedule. And that is about how you become a good reader, is having this consistency. So these are all things that can hurt your reading, is like, you know, not having a schedule, not, you know, like putting that time into developing your reading. And so these are just, you know, these aren't like this isn't an exhaustive list. There's probably other things I haven't touched on, but I found for me, these are the things that I find hurt me as a reader. And if I don't get a control of them, it will affect me, and it'll throw my month off, throw my week off for reading, and, you know, generally put me down. I hope this list has helped you guys, you know, think about how to approach reading, or how you can, there's some things you can change in your life to improve your reading. So anyways, guys, if you like the channel, you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, cheers, and we'll see you next time.